Tim, I've been going over our biggest feature requests, and I really think we should just switch to Type-C on the iPhone. Good morning. I'm afraid we want to go portless soon anyway. But Tim, we could have faster data transfer speeds, we could have charger uniformity between iPads and Macs, we could reduce e-waste, we could have Samsung DeX-like functionality all at the same time.
Wow.
So you're okay with doing it? I don't know. A portless iPhone would just look so clean. Okay, Tim, we already bragged about how much we care about e-waste on stage. You go portless, all these lightning cables become useless instantly.
Wow.
But think of the MagSafe sales. Tim, think of the iPhone sales, okay? You start removing features that people use daily and no one's gonna want to upgrade.
Wow.
Maybe we just include a revolutionary Lightning to MagSafe adapter. Tim, it would require a higher wattage plug on the other side. It's not going to work. We're already making 1 terabyte iPhones. The data transfer speeds on that is gonna suck.
Wow.
We could get such large iCloud revenue boosts. Ugh. Why does the iPad hardware team get everything?
Wow.
We should go portless on more devices. Tim, the EU is gonna kick us out if we don't switch to Type-C. Sounds good, let's do it. Let's begin. You have no idea how happy I was when I first read this tweet from Ming-Chi Kuo. Yes, it's far in advance, and no, Ming-Chi Kuo is not a perfect leaker. He has not been spot-on accurate with everything, but I do have to admit he's usually more right than he is wrong, and this is just something that I've been asking for years and I've been advocating for in this channel. The fact that we finally have someone, it doesn't need to be Ross Young or CoinX or anybody, but just the fact that we have someone with a reasonable track record coming forward claiming that Apple is going to do USB-C on the iPhone 15, so sorry if you were hoping for it this year, but yeah, next year's iPhone in 2023 may finally be making the switch to the best connector possible. That's been my ideology on iPhones for a while now, which is just that, you know, if you're gonna have a port, you should have the best, most useful, most versatile port, and Apple's already been bragging about Type-C on the iPad line, so I don't understand the argument of, well, they won't do it because the Made for iPhone program makes them so much money. I mean, honestly, how many of you are using Lightning accessories made by third parties? It's not that common of a thing, and if it was, Apple would have kept Lightning on the iPads. They came up with a USB 3.0 version of Lightning with faster transfer speeds, and then abandoned it in favor of Type-C on the iPad, and now they're happy to brag about Thunderbolt and data transfer speeds with iPads, but at the same time, they're talking about ProRes and how much data that consumes, and they're now selling 1 terabyte iPhones. I'm sorry, that's just not going to translate well to a portless future, which I know. Back in the earlier days of the tech channel, I used to be in favor of a portless design, and I used to think that was the future, but then Apple changed gears quite a bit across the lineup. I mean, I also never would have expected Apple to bring back legacy ports on the MacBook Pro. They started reintroducing SD card slots and HDMI ports, and they got rid of the butterfly keyboard, they got rid of the touch bar. This change in leadership, I think, from Johnny Ive and Phil leaving has led them to start listening, I think, a tad more, which may come with its downsides of Apple's true identity and design direction, but also comes with the upside of, hey, they're actually freaking listening to us now. In my view, there's just too few advantages of going portless because that's not really a feature. If anything, that's a drawback, and it actually creates a pretty noticeable and objective reason to not upgrade your iPhone. If they came out with a portless design, there will suddenly be a huge demographic of people that are upset by it and confused. Why should I upgrade? This phone looks incredibly similar to last year's iPhone, and all for what? Basically, maybe some improved security measures, slightly larger battery, maybe slightly improved water resistance. That's not really a big selling point to many people, and unlike removing the headphone jack, Apple doesn't have a very clear and obvious alternative that's substantially better. I mean, because I viewed AirPods as so much more freeing and convenient than a wired pair of headphones, but MagSafe is not the equivalent to AirPods because you still have to use a cable. You still have to have a wireless charger on the other end, and you know, it's a little bit easier to dock the puck on the back than it is to plug in the port, but as Apple has already proven, it's so incredibly easy to have both. The 13 Pro Max has proven to me you can have substantially good battery life, amazing water resistance, and still rock a port. The only issue is it's a pretty slow and dated port that we've seen more clear and better better solutions with on Android phones, on iPads, and on Macs, and there's a lot of selling points you can actually attach to an iPhone if you advertise that it has Type-C or even Thunderbolt. Faster data transfer speeds, faster charging methods, or the concept of just taking one charger with you on a trip, and that one cable can charge your iPad, your Mac, and your phone. So I'm just really hoping that Quo ends up being right on this one. I'm not the kind of guy that's gonna say it's confirmed or this is a for sure thing happening, because let's be honest, as much as it builds up my hype and I get really excited now for the iPhone 15, most of the time leaks and rumors that are over a year away don't end up being accurate that much. So there's a lot of new information that could change before the USB-C iPhone actually launches. But to be fair, Quo is also one of those sources that has statistically been able to come forward with display leaks or form factor leaks with iPhones that ended up being accurate well in advance. Like the first guy to come forward with the specs of the iPhone XR, saying that Apple was going to do a Face ID equipped LCD iPhone that was going to be 6.1 inches. He came forward with that info quite a while in advance. Same with the screen size of the XS Max, and has even been the guy to come forward and talk about the iPhone 14 Max, you know, a 6.7 inch non-pro. So if there's anybody that knows what Apple is planning way off into the future, it's usually going to be him, but I also have to admit, he thought the notch would be gone by now. He also thought Apple would go with Touch ID underneath the display by now, and that didn't end up happening. So that's why I'm not viewing this as a confirmed or a for sure thing. There's absolutely a chance that Apple won't do this, but given all of the very obvious and clear advantages of switching to Type-C and the fact that there would be quite a lot of downsides slash disadvantages of going portless, I'm just really happy now that there seems to be more of a chance, or at least perhaps Apple is considering it right now. Maybe they're working on Thunderbolt iPhone prototypes, and just like how they brought legacy ports back to the Mac, maybe they're gonna change their narrative a little bit and just realize that, well, if we're gonna be shipping terabytes of data on these phones, and we're gonna be advertising them for shooting ProRes, and who knows, with the higher megapixel count of the iPhone 14 and the periscope lens of the iPhone 15, they may start supporting, you know, 4K at 60 ProRes, which is gonna consume gigs upon gigs upon gigs per minute, and just relying on AirDrop for all of that footage is probably not a great idea anyway. Not to mention, yes, I'm sure Apple is seeing this in user studies, and when they poll people internally, they're likely seeing a large number request, hey, I would like it if my iPad and my Mac could charge with the same thing my phone charges with. We can't be the only ones in the world asking for this. You know, there's techie people in Apple, and there's techie people out here. I'm sure the debate's going on, but as more and more time goes on, and Apple's, you know, air power of wireless charging doesn't come to fruition, they may start to realize, yeah, maybe we will have a port for another 10 years, and if we're gonna have a port for that long, we should choose the best port possible. That is Type-C. Don't get me going on the durability concerns and that kind of thing. We've already done polls on how most people notice bigger issues with Lightning wear and tear than USB-C wear and tear, so I don't consider that a good argument. If anything, it would make it far easier for people on Android to switch to iOS, because the iPhone would already work with their old Android charger. Really hope this ends up being real, but I'm sure not everybody is completely sold on it. Let me know your predictions or what you think is going to happen down in the comments below. This is your Apple Sheep here. I'll see you all in the next one.